Okay, a few days have passed since the whole situation with Raheem Morris not calling timeouts, and I want to, really give my thoughts post game because it's very easy to look at that and be, very upset because there was an opportunity here to get into the playoffs. It's still there, but I'm almost like 98% chance that it's not going to happen. But you had a chance. You had a chance to take it and go far with this young team. Now, I'm going to really just sit back for a minute and talk about this and really think about what's going on here and what I think they should have done hindsight, which is, a lot of people say that's so easy to do, which it is. All right, well, look, Raheem Morris and Terry Fontenot wanted to have their cake and eat it too. They wanted to try to have success with Kirk Cousins and win now for a couple of years, maybe 1 year, and then bring Michael Penix in and continue that success. We all seen this. We all know how this goes, and we want it to happen because we're fans. But success don't happen like that. It rarely happens. I think the only time that has happened that I can remember when I look at Tom Brady going down to Tampa Bay and winning that Super Bowl. I think it was it the first year he went down there or the second year or something like that? One of those, but that's like the closest thing I've seen to like instant success. When you look at these other teams who win Super Bowls or get, they go through a process. The Rams went through a process to win a Super Bowl. Even the Chiefs, they went through a process before they started winning. You can even make the case that the Patriots, when they went through those years before they became a dynasty. I mean, you got to understand. I mean, look at what happened to them when they played against the Packers, what it was, 96? It took them like 3 or 4 more years 5 more years until they actually made it. It's a process, regardless. Any team that's trying to get to a Super Bowl and win it and have and be on top of the mountain, it takes time. So this is what I think they should have done looking back now. You see what we got with Penix. I think Penix probably should have started day one. They should have never went after Kirk Cousins. I was a little ho-hum about the whole situation. I was a little ho-hum about Raheem Morris. I wasn't really excited. It did feel like a good fit, but I wasn't like, oh, let's go, we're going to make things happen. I saw the process, but when you look at things the way they are, and at the end of the day, the way things go is basically you have to let things play out. Even when you look at the Legion of Boom, they went through their struggles. Matt Ryan, they took it to the Seahawks at one point in the playoffs until they end up winning the Super Bowl. Look at the Falcons when they got to a Super Bowl. That 2008, that 2010 season, 2012, we went through our growing pains. So it's a process. So when you look at bringing in Michael Penix, should have revved up the defense. You probably wouldn't have got that far. You probably would have got farther than you did now, but you probably wouldn't have won a Super Bowl this year. You probably would have been in the running with the team, knowing what you know now. With the Michael Penix at quarterback all the way through, he probably would have went through some growing pains, whatever the case may be. It is nothing to take away from Kirk Cousins, because Kirk Cousins did help us, get in the position to win this division, beating the Bucs twice. You can't take that from him. But at the end of the day, it's a process. You can't piece together a championship. You build it. You don't piece it together. You build it. So looking back on it now, the timeouts, not using them, they did hurt. Looking at everything, the losing streak when Kirk Cousins was going through his motions, that hurt. But that's the price you pay when you try to have your cake and eat it too. I'd rather Michael Penix go through those growing pains and go through them as a young quarterback, and then the next year when you come in, he'll be ready to go. That's just how the way it works. You look at any quarterback that's going through what they're going through. The Lions went through their growing pains. They're going through it right now, and look where they are. Though that team hasn't lost a road game this year. But look what they had to go through last year. You know, you got to go through them growing pains. You have to. And I think this is a lesson that we all know, and is a lesson that we don't want to really admit because we want to win now, especially after what happened when we went to the Super Bowl last time. I get it. But I'm not going to be one of these ones to say, get Raheem Morris out of here. Is it a fireable offense? Yeah, it is, but I don't think he should lose his job. I think he's going to be fine. He's not going to lose it. Arthur Blanket's not going to let him go after 1 year. You already got one win more than you did the last 3 years. You know, you went 7-10 the last 3 years, and you're probably going to go 9-8 this season. That's progress, all things considered. But Raheem Morris altered the careers of a Drake London, his first playoff game at home. Bijan Robinson, his first playoff game at home. Michael Penix, first playoff game at home. You know what I mean? Jesse Bates, who have experience in the playoffs. Grady Jarrett, experience in the playoffs. Jake Matthews, experience in the playoffs. Would have done wonders for the other guys that are on the offensive line. Matthew Judon, you know, all these guys who have experience playing in big games. Raheem Morris took that from them. You know, and that's the part that's the bigger issue out of everything. He kind of low-key took that from them. Now, could other things could have happened, you know, once you got called a timeout, for sure. But when you have a young quarterback in his second start, you want to put him in a position where he always can be able to process things at a slower pace. Because it's going to take time for him for the game to slow down for him. Everything is still fast, regardless of all the experience he had in college, the 40+ games he played in college, and all that. The NFL is a different beast, and you kind of seen that, how the way he was overthrowing passes. You got to slow the game down for him. Slow it down and let him get 10, 15 more yards, and you know, you can get a kicker out there that can actually make that field goal. And speaking of that, I don't know what's going on with Younghoe Koo, but we may need to invest in another kicker, but that's a whole nother subject for another day. I don't want to get into transactions and moves or whatever, but for right now, you look at a Raheem Morris, and Raheem Morris, he indirectly or directly robbed this young nucleus of playoff experience. Tyler Algier, another guy, robbed a playoff experience. Now, that could be a fireable offense. You're ruining people's careers. What if they never get to a chance to get to that point again? Which I doubt. I think Michael Penix and the rest of this offense, you add another piece here or there. Moore is going to be coming back from his injury. That's another piece that you're going to be looking into. You're probably going to, in my opinion, and I know some people may not think about this, and I said I was not going to talk about moves and transactions. I think that the Falcons need to go after a cornerback in the first round. I don't think they need to go after edge rusher. I think the guys that they got are pretty solid. You know, Bertrand, I like him. Ebikete has come on and played pretty well. It depends on how the money goes. You might want to bring Judon back. That front seven has started to roll a little bit. So going back and trying to get another pass rusher might not be viable. Ruka Rororo has been playing good. You may want to get a linebacker later, but you want to get somebody on the other side of AJ. Go get somebody on the other side of AJ in the first round, and you go back at this thing next year and try to make some things happen. I think that'll be the best move right there. You go, and I'll say this before I get out of here. You go after a cornerback. You go get you somebody on the offensive line, because Jake Matthews is getting older. Get somebody on the offensive line, and you may want to go also and probably get another tight end, because I like Kyle Pitts, but you may want to get another tight end, and that's just me guessing off the top of my head. But definitely cornerback, offensive line, definitely you want to go there. And we got a handful of picks. I think we got like 5 or 6 picks, so you can go all across the board, and then not even talk about free agent signings as well. So, it's a lot to digest. It is, but it took me a day. I didn't want to do a podcast episode. I'll do one later on this week concerning the game against the Panthers, and we'll talk about that at that time. But it's really unfortunate because you had it in front of you, and it still could happen. I will be extremely surprised if it does. But the Falcons, they're on the right path. Raheem Morris just put this team probably about 4 or 5 steps back with not slowing the game down for Michael Penix in the offense. But we'll talk about that later on. Hopefully you guys are having a blessed day. I am going to get up out of here. Thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe. And I'm going to get on with the rest of my day. Y'all take it easy and y'all be blessed. Peace.